Welcome back to the channel. In this one, I want to look at my new little toy that I've got. This is the Miyoo Mini, the original one. Well, it's actually the V4 version. And I felt it deserved its own little video, so I've been rocking the Miyoo Mini Plus for, I don't know, probably about a year now, and I absolutely love this handheld. It's just the right sort of size for me. I like the D-pad, I like the size of the face buttons, it's got a lovely screen, battery life is pretty decent. It's a little bit rattly, but it fits my pocket well. And with the right case, you know, it doesn't have an official case, but you know, this is kind of touted as the official case, even though it's not. Although when I purchased this, it came with this case. It fits in that case well. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It does fit in my back trouser pocket quite well. But I always had that hankering for the original Mini. And the V4 got a lot of stick when it came out. In fact, all the Miyoo Minis got a bit of stick for being a little bit fragile when they came out. But it rattles less than the Miyoo Mini Plus. And the V4, its biggest sort of stick that it got was, well, firstly, the screen was a slightly higher resolution and it wasn't best utilised, shall we say, within the emulators. Now, with Onion OS, which I've installed in here now, the most up-to-date version is 4.3.1-1. That does appear to have resolved that issue, and I have to say I really like the screen. I mean, it's just as good as this, and I find it difficult to comprehend. It's a 3.5-inch screen and this is a 2.8, I think, and you can clearly see it's a big bit of difference in size, but it feels like more real estate because it's a smaller device and the screen isn't hugely smaller. What I will say is, it's all the same controls except for the volume rocker, which instead of being a little digital up-down button, which I quite like because you can see on screen, how much you turn the volume up and how much to turn the volume down. On the original Miyoo Mini, it's literally just a little scroll wheel, which is okay. I mean, you can get a bit more precision, you can get a little bit more accurate level of sound that you want. There's like not such big steps in between, but again, it's a bit old-fashioned for me. Build quality wise, now a lot of reviewers have said you can maybe drop this once, you might get lucky, and if you might drop it again, the screen might pop out, some of the buttons might pop off, it might shatter. And well, while that's relevant, I think that can happen with any handheld. And this is actually pretty well put together considering it's all jammed into such a small case, so yeah, it might pop apart. But as some of you will know if you followed my channel for any length of time, I dropped a £500 3D camera and that broke one of the lenses like instantly, and it dropped like a foot, and that was the protected plastic cover lens, which a lot of reviewers had said could survive multiple drops. Mine survived one drop onto a hardwood surface, smashed. So the same could happen with any device really, and I will admit I've dropped this already. But it also comes with its very own tiny little Miyoo case, and it fits even better in this one. It doesn't have the strap there, but it fits in beautifully, and again, it hardly takes up any space. In fact, in its case, it's still smaller. Not by much, but still smaller than the Miyoo Mini Plus, which means I take this out and about with me much more often because it's just so small. Now, I would normally take something like my Anbernic RG Nano, which is very small. In fact, comedy levels are small, and I'll overlay some footage of that next to this, and this as well, and I had a Game Boy Pocket, for example. And while it's playable, it's absolutely tiny. But I've just found this is it's actually fine to hold. Okay, I've been playing mainly Game Boy Color type games at the moment. I've not really been using the shoulder buttons much. The shoulder buttons themselves are actually pretty decent, but when you're actually playing it, they are pretty close to the top edge. But I find resting a couple of fingers underneath, I'm using this two-handed, no problem. I can play it one-handed. It's about twice the size of the RG Nano, but it feels in the hand even easier to game on. I mean, I've played this game, Advance Wars, one-handed on this. It's quite good, and this is quite heavy, but I find it kind of rests in your hand quite well. But moving back to the version, the V4 version of the Miyoo Mini, I just find this gets a lot more stick than I think it should, to be honest. Now, maybe it's because of price, and that's where I like to get a bargain, to be honest. I mean, I know this can cost like $60, $70 depending where you buy it, and when I bought it, I only paid, I think it was about £30, which was a really good deal. And in fact, to prove how good a deal it was, I bought two of them. I bought another one about 2 weeks later for even less, for about £1 less, so a couple of dollars less. So, ultimately I got this for about $40. which was a good price. This I got for £25 on AliExpress, which is about $30. And it arrived in 7 days. And I ordered this at the same time as I ordered a GKD Pixel, and that never arrived. So, you know, there's always that risk that when you order something from AliExpress, you might not get it if it seems to it's too good a deal. But I've seen this quite a lot recently going for about £25. Now, that's about double the price of a Datafrog SF2000. But much like I said at the time, but I don't like the Datafrog SF2000, I don't think it's anywhere near worth the hype. You could buy one of these for about 3 times the price of a Datafrog, and it was more than 3 times better. You can now buy this for about twice the price of the Datafrog SF2000, and it's more than 3 times better. The screen's about the same size, and it's better quality. It's got brightness control. You can do your own overlays, which I've done here. I've given it more of a Game Boy colour type vibe with a little overlay. It's got better control. It's got better battery life. I've been playing this thing solid for a while now, and I have got I've got about 50% battery, 51% battery in this already. And I've put probably about 5 hours into this. Now I'm just playing Game Boy Color games at the moment. I've been really getting into Wario Land 2, a game that I played on the Game Boy Color a way back when. And I'm playing it again now, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So what I will say is, I suppose it depends on the games you're playing. I've tried, V here, it's pretty good. I've tried, Tetris. I love playing Tetris. It's just one of these go-to games for me. And with the right overlay, it looks brilliant as well. I've just been having so much fun with this. It does sometimes go a little bit the fast side, although I'm up to level 9 just now, but sometimes I've found it can run a little bit faster than I expect, but it's just been great fun. So if you're in the market for a handheld, you might be lucky enough to pick up a Miyoo Mini at the knockdown price that I just got one for. I mean, what kind of handheld can you get for $30 that's going to offer as much as the Miyoo Mini? And a lot of people say, oh, they're scared they'll break it, it's a bit fragile, and what will they do if they break it? They'll never be able to replace it. Well, it doesn't look like Miyoo's stopping making these anytime soon. Whereas, the GKD Pixel is a great example. I thought it was a great handheld. I really supported it when it first got announced. I really wanted to get my hands on one. I could never get my hands on one. They always seem to get marked up in price. And now when they finally started to come down the price, it looks like they've been discontinued. And, that's the prime example of a handheld that, I want to get behind, but feel that I can't, because I can't recommend that to people if you can't get one. This, though, the V4, these are all over AliExpress at the moment. And although I picked the kind of grey beige one, I wanted something a little bit different, because I already had a funky purple one. I want something a bit more plain. You can get this in the yellow model. The white model I saw, the white model looks quite nice. And, I mean, it's a great little handheld. The buttons are the same size. I think they're 7.7mm. The D-pad's the same size. I can't remember exactly the size of that, but it's a brilliant D-pad. Miyoo really know how to make a nice D-pad. Size-wise, I think it's about 12% narrower than the Miyoo Mini Plus and about 17% shorter in height. Which, that's not much, but it does make a difference in the hand. So if you're in the market for a cheap, low-cost, budget handheld, maybe start thinking about the Miyoo V4. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.